Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day in this video. Want to give you guys an update of my new crypto mining basement here. It's probably been a while since I gave you guys an update, and it's been going good. I've been slowly organizing and cleaning up, and I'm wanting to install new fluorescent lighting. Well, they're not fluorescents, but they're LED shop lights that I bought on Amazon, and I'll talk about those in a sec. Yeah, I've just been slowly getting this ready. As most of you know, that I have moved in this house now, everything recently, and getting that all set up, moving in. It's been pretty busy, right? And so it's been something that I can finally call home, but it's not to the way that I want yet. In terms of upstairs of, me and my family moving in here, it's good enough to that point of where we can move in, but it's not completely finished upstairs yet. There's still a few odds and ends, painting here, some trim there, that kind of thing. But in terms of my basement here, it's also pretty much ready. There are just a few things, like I need to put in some new lights because it's just too dark in here. So let me take you guys on the journey of installing my new LED shop lights here. And I don't know if these are good or not, but I bought these off Amazon, okay? They're these Barina LED T5 fixtures, okay? And I was looking at many different options of, getting legitimate ballasts and T8 fluorescent LED lighting and such. But those ballasts are not cheap. And I looked at getting at least 6 in my storage room here, and then another 6 for where my 400 amp service is, networking and such. And so each ballast was I don't know, $50 Canadian or something crazy. So I would have to spend $500, $600 on just the ballasts. And then I have to buy the T8 lighting as well, which, those are $10, $5 each or something. So it really adds up. And so I found another alternative on Amazon, and it came in a 12 pack of these 4-foot LED 2200 lumens 6500K in the color, the lighting. And it came with all the cable and the hardwire methods here, which I am wanting to do. Okay, I'm not gonna be utilizing these switches here, and actually I have it plugged in here. You guys can see, so 2. All right, I just did some test fitting here, and it does come with a cable to interconnect them in series here. And each of these 2 lights are, apparently according to the website, was 20 watts. So both of these lights together is almost 40 watts or 39.5 watts there. Okay, so pretty cool. All right, pretty cool. I thought this was a better idea, and the price was only less than $100, which I got on Cyber Monday deals. And so they just came in, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just do this. This seems much cheaper. Sure, it may not be, I don't know, commercial or industrial, doing the whole ballast and the big T8 fluorescent lighting, LED lighting or whatever. But to be honest, I feel like this is good enough. And I've been trying to figure out how the power is set up here. So you guys can see my original 2 lights in the middle. All right, those are just the regular ceiling lights. So when I turn those off, these 20 watt, 2200 lumen lights are pretty good. So I am wanting to put at least 6 in the storage room here. So I'll put another 3 on each side, and then I already have 2 here, and I need to put another one at the very far end of this room, and that should technically be enough light. And looks like my camera really does like the lighting here, so this is perfect for doing vlogs and such. Stay tuned for the bitcoinmerch.com, the Mars lander, and the 3 little USB miners here. Apparently, I was watching Chump Change XD. He had a short where he plugged in these guys into the Mars lander and utilizing one of the USB hubs here. So I'm wanting to try that so that I don't need to install these 3 on a separate machine or another Raspberry Pi, which I don't have another Raspberry Pi. They're out of stock everywhere, and they're so expensive. So I'm gonna see if it works into this Mars lander here. Anyways, yeah, just showing you guys this is how I'm wanting to set up the this room here with the Barina lights down here. Okay, and hopefully that should go pretty easy at the top here. I did have some issue, well, not really an issue, but I've been trying to figure out how the wiring is done in this place. And I was just looking at, some of these lights that used to be in the basement here were running on aluminum wiring, and I was just like, no, that is not good. And looks like some of the aluminum wiring, which I saw here, is going into here and going into the switches here. So I was just like, okay, I think the electricians, they didn't take out this aluminum wiring that was left before. This house, really old house, it had aluminum wiring and only 100 amp service. So now that this is upgraded to 400 amp, right, all new copper cabling, all new 15 amp, 120 volts, these are the, I think, 14 gauge wiring. And then I got 12 gauge, the yellow ones going into each room. And then I got a couple 10 gauge cables for my 240 volts, 30 amp. But yeah, there's no longer any aluminum wiring, right? I'm not using any aluminum wiring, but in the ceiling here, I was just looking at, there are some areas where there's still aluminum cabling here, and I was just like, all right, that has to come down. I did trace back to like all the wires to see where they were going, and they were mainly going to like lights and like the garage and stuff. And so I don't think I have to worry too much about it, but it would be nice to take it all out. And I'm wanting to do LED lighting in my garage here as well, because I am going to have a car charger port here, but like I said in previous videos, I'm wanting to convert that to mining rig setup somewhere here. I got to get rid of so much like building supply stuff here that I'm not going to be using anymore. It's the house is pretty much done on the outside, but just inside here, guys, yeah, I'm pretty much ready to get my shelf where I need to have set up my mining rigs here, right? I can finally, since I already ran the 240 volt 30 amp here with the networking as well, we did that in another video. This is something that I'm really excited to finally get going. And we got windows here for in case we need exhaust, but obviously it's winter time. I do want to keep the cold in here, which you guys knew I did have an L7 here before, but that is back to the other crypto mining basement that I have, which is actually cheaper electric over there. That is why I've been taking my time in getting a shelf and setting up mining rigs down here. But you guys have probably seen recently, I have been adding mining rigs upstairs because it's been, cold instead of using baseboard heaters. So why not, right? Why not? But yeah, when I was trying to figure out the power situation for the lighting here, because I do want to hardwire these LED lights, right, with this here, and then going into a switch here, which I want to utilize. I do want to split up this, my storage room testing area, along with the server room mining area here, that I do want to put it on a separate switch, right, for this room. So hoping once I can figure out where this aluminum wiring is going, I can take it out and take it out of here, and then I can put a new switch. And then these 20 watts each, right? That'll be 120 watts. That's actually one thing I was concerned about is these Barina. The gauge of these is 20 gauge, according to the wiring here, 20 gauge. And they even say on the setup paper here, it says, if using the 4-foot LED lights, don't connect more than 8 lights, all right? So if 8 of them at 20 watts each, that would be 160 watts, right? So yeah, that would be quite a bit of power going through these little tiny 20 gauge copper wires here. It seems pretty small. So definitely not doing 8, but I'm going to be doing 6 in a series. So that would only be what, 120 watts through one of these cables. So I hope that's okay. I guess we'll see if I burn up one of these 4-foot LED lights, which I really don't think so, but you guys can let me know. Let's end off with my networking here. Okay, it's not done yet. It's not perfect. I've almost finished all the terminations at the top here for around the house, right? I have about what, 20 at the house upstairs, and then I have like a couple down here in the basement for my test area, and then for my mining rig shelf, as you guys know. But my internet connection, it's only a 1.5 gig down, and then not only I say, but then it's only 150 Mbps up, which sucks because I'm hoping to do like flux nodes and hosting and all that kind of stuff. But with 150 upload, it really hinders me, and I'm trying to wait for fiber to come in because right now I'm using coaxial, which is just really bad. And so I'm hoping I can get fiber into here one of these days instead of using coaxial, but I have to wait for that. But otherwise, most of you know I have pretty much all Ubiquiti hardware, and I'm really taking a liking to it now. I'm understanding how they, set up their VLANs, their web GUI, and their analytics and everything. It's just super nice how everything in terms of the Wi-Fi, security cameras, doing the different profiles, and then the VLANs, and then the port management. It's actually very simple to use. And also the many firewall features that can be utilized on the Ubiquiti. It's pretty brainless. Ubiquiti has done a really good job. They've come a long way, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people give them flack because Ubiquiti is kind of like the Apple of networking, right? But Ubiquiti actually has a huge support team. They come out with firmware updates, security updates, and everything constantly. These devices update automatically, which is just awesome. I don't have to worry about that. There's no subscription fees or anything like that with Ubiquiti here, so I really love it. So it's been really good for like home use here. I mean, even for business use as well. I mean, this could totally be great. But I have the Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro, which has been really good. And then I have a 24-port gigabit PoE switch for my cameras, wireless cameras, and then I have some of my mining rigs on here, which don't really need much anyway. 10100 is fine. Then I have a Netgear 10 gigabit switch, which actually I'm not gonna get rid of. I'm gonna use it in a different area, but I have ordered 2 of the Ubiquiti 8-port 10 gigabit SFP Plus switches, which I'm planning to put one here, and then the other one is going to go into my studio upstairs. And so there's going to be the 10 gig copper uplink. I wish it was fiber. I wish I could run a fiber cable all the way to my studio. I technically could, but my garage and such is already drywalled. So my studio is actually on the other side of that single car garage there, but the ceiling is completely drywalled. So I don't want to cut anything, and there is a wall there, so really to fish through it would be impossible. I really don't think I'll be able to get through. So I'm not going to do that work. So we're going to have to go through the Cat6a cable, which I can get a SFP to copper or SFP to 10 gigabit, into an Ethernet port. And I have verified that the 8-port 10 gigabit SFP switch can utilize those SFP to copper GBIC modules. That should be no problem. And so the Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro does have 2 10 gigabit SFP ports already. So I will be using one for the new switch, aggregation switch, 10 gigabit. So that should be really good. And then I can easily VLAN through that and also communicate with the other SFP switch on the other side, right? Into my studio. Then I can VLAN also within those 8 ports there, which is definitely enough. And there are SFP plus to single gigabit modules as well, GBIC modules, which I'm gonna put like another just a basic gigabit switch up there in my studio just for devices that don't need 10 gigabit, right? And I'll probably do that as well to actually another switch, which Geek of all trades, if you're watching this, man, I have your Cisco switches here. Thank you so much for these. I'm actually not quite sure how to set these up. I only have experience using, HP stuff and Dell stuff, but I think the CLI for Cisco is gonna be totally different from HP, but you guys can let me know. This is a really nice 48-port gigabit switch. So I'm hoping to keep one down here, and I'll have another one for my studio. All right, guys. That's it. That's it for my networking setup. It's not done. Still in the process of getting that all up. And of course, I have to get up all my servers as well. That's a whole nother topic that, oh man, I've gotten into it before, but I don't think I'm gonna get into it this time. You guys probably know my plan for these. It's just utilizing VMware, and I need everything from file server, managing wallets and such through my servers. Yeah, that's gonna be for another video. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Let me know what you guys think of my new LED lighting here. If this was a good idea or not. I think this is a pretty great cost-effective way, pretty cheap way honestly, for less than $100 for 12 of these lights plus all the cables and everything. I think this is cool. Yeah. I think this is good enough. You guys can let me know. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out.